I mean, that's a whole story in itself. What that will lead to, we'll wait and see. Of course, they have a lot of unfinished business. They believe they have never lost those belts. The call to action, they hit it to perfection. And this could be it. And Foxy's pulled out. He's pulled out by who else? Anita, Vaughan. Really, we should have expected this. And the Bearded Beauties. How would they have fared against, dare I say, a proper tag team?
Whoa! What the fuck are you doing?
Hey man, what's up?
What are you doing?
Oh, well, you know, the next show is Walking Dead themed.
Okay.
So I thought I'd do a promo, you know, Saviours, Negan, the Bat, the whole thing.
Who the fuck is this?
Oh, this is Pete.
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 And what are you going to do with the bat?
You know, it's embarrassing, but kind of hadn't thought about it. I guess I was going to bash his fucking brains in.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, the Wrestling Dead. We have, of course, gold on the line here tonight, Irish Junior Heavyweight gold, but first, for the Irish Tag Team titles, we do have the Saviours of Destiny in action. I'm not sure if this is them. It's hard to see from back here, though. Well, good to see the gang's all here anyway, those of us who were able to make it. I mean, this is classic Saviours, this is strategy. Well, that doesn't look like Owen Richards. I can't quite see from back here. He certainly looks familiar. Very subtle request. Is that who I think it is? Is that who it looks like? Is that who the fans are suggesting it is? Well, that confirms that. Perfect. Some excellent guitar work there from Elias. This is a bit confused now because obviously all 3 members of the Saviours are already out. But wait! But who's that then? I'm guessing by the gold around their waist, I'm guessing that is Owen Richards and the real deal Andy Steele. The real deal Andy Steele. These are the Irish Tag Team Champions. These are the Saviours of Destiny. And I hate to sound like Lance Storm, but if I could be serious for a minute, these are the champions for a reason. They've beaten a wide range of teams, not just here in Fight Factory, but all over the country. They are an undefeated tag team. The only undefeated tag team in the country. And they are undefeated for a reason. These lads are dangerous. These lads are mean. And in case they weren't angry enough as they were going into a tag team title match like this, they now have to deal with Butch Armstrong and JDP. And it is, I can see just about from here, it is JDP. It's not actually Elias. I thought it was. But yeah, they have to deal with that impersonation, those mind games. Oh, that is the Butch Armstrong signature, the towel. We've seen him use this in matches all throughout the year. It is dangerous, more dangerous than any bat. That is his Lucille, effectively. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, well, I shouldn't be surprised. This is, whoa, that is, in the hands of anyone else, that's a towel, but in the hands of Butch Armstrong, that is a weapon of mass destruction. And JDP and Butch using each other as a weapon to open up the show. And this is a very interesting fight to start off with. The Saviours of Destiny have said that they respect the Bearded Beauties, but they don't consider the Bearded Beauties to be a tag team that operates on the Saviours level. And in the defense of the Bearded Beauties, they are the only tag team. The only tag team they've lost to is the Saviours. And it was in triple threat action. Every other time they have had to fight, every other time they've had to team up, they have got the result that they needed. So they really aren't a team that you can dismiss. As charismatic as they may be and as goofy as they may be at times, dare I say it, I'll say that quietly so JDP doesn't hear me, but some would describe them as a bit goofy at times. There is very real talent, there is very real credibility to this tag team. And there is very real strength and power in the arsenal of JDP. JDP / Elias, but this is the thing. This is the thing. And this is what arguably separates the Bearded Beauties from the Saviours. I say arguably, I'm not ruling them out. But you need to be on top of your game, concentrating 100 trillion% of the time. And that is something that the Saviours do better than anyone. Concentrate at all times. And it's something that it's a skill that they've developed with experience. It's a skill that they've developed match after match after match. They've improved, they've gotten better. But the same could also be said about the Bearded Beauties. There is a tag team that's gotten better and better with every match. But have they improved to the point where they can dethrone the undefeated Saviours of Destiny? That is the question. Well, Owen Richards putting the boost to JDP. He has JDP right where he wants him in the corner of the Saviours. And knocking Butch Armstrong off the apron. That's what you want to do in that position. Butch Armstrong tries to run in. Again, this is a lack of experience. And, you know, both of these men, Butch Armstrong and JDP, do have experience in tag teams before. Don't forget, JDP is part of the Nightmare Edition. Butch Armstrong as part of the Armstrongs, as part of One Night Stand, as part of a whole variety. I mean, these are two tag team specialists, And that is why they have managed to find a way to make it work. When they teamed on their first night here in Fight Factory, it wasn't part of some great plan. They didn't arrive here together. They were put together through circumstance. And they made it work, and they made it work to a point of title contention. But can they make it work to a point of title victories, title runs, title reigns? That's what separates the good from the great. And is this the time for the Bearded Beauties? I mean, the Saviours of Destiny, as strong as they have been over these past few months, they have shown cracks as of late. They did beat LJ, Cleary and Fabio, two of the best wrestlers we've ever had here in Fight Factory. But you also have to remember, they survived LJ, Cleary and Fabio, not just beating them, but survived them, because they beat them through interference from Justin Daniels. Don't forget, they beat LJ Cleary effectively in a handicap match come the end of it, and it also required the interference of Anita Vaughan, who fortunately we haven't seen her pop up yet, and she is preparing for a match later on tonight. But Butch Armstrong's in now, and he is going to town on both of these Saviours. And Butch Armstrong, he has that quickness, he has that fire in him, the honey badger, he's fearless. You know, Butch Armstrong, to his credit, something that he does better than anyone is rise to the occasion, not let the pressure of a title match ruin his game plan or ruin his strategy. A lovely suplex from Butch Armstrong. Going for those three amigos. And that was very effective from Butch Armstrong, who doesn't get the pinfall victory. And it's interesting to note the mental side of things as well. You know, the Saviours of Destiny, again, they've had a lot of issues as of late with Team PB&J, Justy and Phil Boyd. A lovely super kick from Andy Steele, but his foot sent into Owen Richards, and JDP with a big boot. Owen Richards runs into JDP, but I mean, the amount of strength and physical strength is something that the Saviours have in abundance. But when you're taking on the heaviest wrestler in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, the strongest wrestler in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, JDP, he's not a wrestler that you can just run into. It's not a wrestler you can ragdoll. This is someone who effectively his size is his weapon. But Andy Steele with a kick to the head, no matter who you are, will drop you. And JDP right now is in a very unusual position. He's dropped, but he's on the top turnbuckle. The Saviours of Destiny working together to try and move that dead weight, but Butch Armstrong in from behind with some strikes of his own. And a lovely clothesline from Butch Armstrong, putting Owen Richards down, but a head kick from Andy Steele. Again, those kicks, a signature of the real deal Andy Steele, who's now on the top turnbuckle, and off the top gets caught with a lovely sit-out spine buster from Butch Armstrong, and Owen Richards running into the corner and off the top. The noise of that, I'll let the noise of that speak for itself. Rough landing for JDP, but it's not enough for JDP to be put away. But as I was saying, the Saviours of Destiny not only have to deal with the Bearded Beauties, but mentally they're going to have one eye on Team PB&J and their match later on tonight with Team PB&JB. But for the Bearded Beauties, they only have one thing that they need to focus on. They only need to focus on those titles. They only need to focus on the opponents that are right in front of them, and they have no distractions. But an interesting one, well, I was going to say, an interesting point is, how are you going to get JDP into the call to action? That is something that Saviours of Destiny are going to have to face as they kick out at 2. But how are you going to lift JDP up? Really, that's someone you're not going to be able to get into that position, quite frankly, unless they've been working on that aspect of their game. But even then, that'll take a long time to lift a man that heavy into that position. They're really, their best chance is to try and get Butch Armstrong into that position, but even then, that's easier said than done when you can only hit your signature move on one member of your opponents in a tag team match. And now JDP and Owen Richards are on the outside. Andy Steele and Butch Armstrong are in the middle of the ring, and Butch Armstrong with a lovely chop. He goes for Andy Steele, and Andy Steele with a spinning back kick. And it's the precision of that spinning back kick. It's not just power, it's precision. And that is why Butch Armstrong is off his feet, and that is why Andy Steele is able to take a minute to talk to the crowd and really soak in the moment, because he's in his groove. When he can hit out moves like that out of nowhere, again, that's what separates the good from the great, the champions from the contenders. But Andy Steele with the guitar in his hand. This is not a good position for Butch Armstrong to be in, but Foxy protecting him. Butch Armstrong has Andy Steele up in the Bearded Beauties. That's what put away Party Boy and JB at the last show, but it wasn't enough to put away Andy Steele. Fans are disputing. It was a close count, but I trust Foxy's judgment. He is the very best in the business. And if the Bearded Beauty is going to want to win this match, you're going to have to hit that again. But Owen Richards doing the smart thing and pulling Andy Steele off of JDP. And now attacking JDP from behind. But even from behind, JDP, with all his wits about him, is very tough to put away. A spear from Owen Richards, managing to take the big man off his feet. But Butch Armstrong comes in from behind with some really solid punches. And now he's fighting off both men. Again, it's that fearless nature of Butch Armstrong. He'll go in there 2-on-1. He'll put himself on the line. He'll put his body on the line. He doesn't care. Andy Steele, though, with a head kick. And Butch Armstrong might not even know where he is. And this looks like potentially the call to action. And that's it. Ring the bell. It's over. There's no title change this evening, at least not for those tag team titles. It's another win in the column for Owen Richards and Andy Steele. You know, it's really one of those runs as champions where you kind of have to ask, when's that ever going to come to an end, if it will ever come to an end? The Saviours of Destiny right now are operating on the form of really the best tag team in Europe. I mean, if you look at all the tag teams in Europe at the minute, Andy Steele with an unnecessary, and I will say unnecessary, I know it's controversial to say, super kick to the, well, I suppose his impersonator. But what's next for the Saviours of Destiny, we'll see. Of course, we do have JB and Party Boy coming up, Team PB&J coming up. But until then, that's the end of that. Well, what an opportunity this is for everyone involved. A #1 contenders match at our next show. Imagine what that could do for the career of someone like Big Rab. AJ Scrags from next gen to #1 contender in the space of one match. That's how crazy this opportunity really is. He calls himself Fearless AJ Scrags. That's what he's going to want to be when the stakes are this high. if there's anyone in this match who can take advantage of this opportunity, it's Riordan O'Connor. Silky Smooth. This year has been a breakout year for Silky Smooth, and he may have had, you know, one or two attitude changes along the way, we'll call it. But certainly there's no denying the ability and the potential of Riordan O'Connor in that ring. And I don't know, as he throws a fan's hat across the building, what the odds are like for Riordan O'Connor, but Jungle Jill certainly don't help those odds. Jungle Jill, we've seen on these shows before. Jungle Jill is just insane. I suppose is the best word that I can use. Just crazy. Someone who's been, I'm not even going to say wrestling, I'm just going to say fighting for years. And to be honest, there's as much chance that Jungle Jill walks out here as number one contender as anyone else. This is very, very hard to call. AJ Scrags, hey look, I respect the confidence, he's gonna need it, but a headbutt from Jill puts him back, well, back to square one, we'll say. And Jungle Jill lifting up Riordan O'Connor. I don't think any of these people were ready for Jill. Riordan O'Connor just looks dizzy, he goes through and dig a big rab. Big Rab. Could he potentially form a temporary alliance with Jungle Jill? I don't think Jungle Jill has those words in her vocabulary. So off they scrap. A Big Rab and Jungle Jill. That is a very interesting combination. Wouldn't mind seeing this as a singles match one day. Oh, and Big Rab straight into the middle turnbuckle, and Jungle Jill with the knees. Currently, if you were to consider anyone a favourite after these first couple of moments, you'd have to say Jungle Jill could be our number one contender. But she's going to have to lift up Big Rab now, and I don't think that's the wisest strategy. Jungle Jill, I think that's probably, if you were to pick a weak point for Jungle Jill in her game, it would be a lack of strategy. Jungle Jill is such a wild card. She goes in, she's not afraid to scrap with anyone. She'll be as vicious as she needs to be, no problem. But I don't believe she takes that time before a match to sit down and think about what she's going to do and how she's going to adapt to every single opponent in this match. Whereas you look at those two in the ring now, AJ Scrags and Riordan O'Connor, I mean, these are two young men who I wouldn't be surprised to put a lot of effort into the strategy coming in here, but there is only so much strategy that you can implement in a fatal four-way when it's this hectic and there's opponents coming at you at any and every given second. But Riordan O'Connor, AJ goes underneath. AJ Scrags blindsided. I was gonna say blindsided with a double axe handle, but he has it scouted. AJ Scrags is looking very sharp. He really does look like he has his head very much screwed on, and it's very impressive because you have to look at AJ Scrags and the inexperience that he has compared to everyone else in this match, compared to everyone else in Fight Factory in general, and yet he's learning so quickly, he's improving so quickly that when he's in there at Riordan O'Connor, he's not out of his depth by any means. He is standing there, he is trading, he is standing there, and he belongs. But Jungle Jill from behind sends them into each other, double headbutt. Jill, again, she's not out for long, she's back in and she's dominating again. But Big Rab comes in from behind, a Big Rab intercepting Jungle Jill from one corner to the other. And now Big Rab finishing the job that Jill started, going corner to corner, making mincemeat of the of the guts of Riordan O'Connor and AJ Scrags. And I talk about fighters looking comfortable, fighters such as AJ Scrags, but Big Rob is someone who's looked more comfortable now than he's ever had in his Fight Factory Pro Wrestling journey thus far. And now AJ Scrags is sat out in the middle of that ring, and this could be it. It's broken up by Jill. But there's so much on the line here. We don't even know who the winner of this match is even going to be facing next month, because they're going to be number one contender, but that could be number one contender against... Oh, Big Rob rolling up Jill. It's not enough to put Jill away and get the win for Big Rob, but will the winner of this match be facing Fabio? Will they be facing Justin Daniels? In which case, interesting times lie ahead for Big Rob potentially. But Big Rob can't think too far ahead. He can't think about who's going to be champion or who he might be facing or might not be facing. He'll be facing no one if he can't get the win here tonight. And Jungle Jill is now put away Big Rob. But you know, Jungle Jill, she doesn't care who the champion is. It's all the same to her. Same strategy every fight. Just go out there and try and kill people. But Big Rob, could he be going for the package pile driver? Something he does very well. But Riordan O'Connor with a super kick to Big Rob completely stuns him. And Jungle Jill lifting up Rob and a super kick to Jill. Big Rob not even aware of where he is and nearly wins the match. Well, interesting one from the fans. The fans are saying anyone but Riordan. Well, Riordan's not going to care. He's just going to focus on the task at hand. And AJ Scrags with a dropkick to Riordan. It's interesting. AJ Scrags and Riordan O'Connor are very well matched. They seem like two wrestlers that just... I don't know. You really can't call it between the two of them. Oh, Riordan O'Connor! Well, I don't even need to say anything, do I? That is a chop. That is what they call the chop. And it is deafening. And if you're AJ Scrags, it is painful as Riordan O'Connor, with all the momentum behind him, hits him with a perfect sling blade. And all those fans singing anyone but Riordan. I don't know. I don't think they'll be singing that for much longer. I don't think they're going to be happy. But AJ Scrags again. That's what I'm saying. So well matched. So well matched. He's taking advantage of every opportunity. But Jill... Oh, dropping Riordan O'Connor on his neck. And Big Rob in from behind. What Big Rob is doing really well. A package pile driver. But AJ Scrags comes in. And he hits Big Rob with a knee. I was going to say what Big Rob is doing really well is popping up at the right time and taking advantage of any chance. But AJ Scrags on top of Big Rob, and that's it! What? Our number one contender going into our next show is fearless AJ Scrags. You know, look, as well prepared as he was and as excellent a performance he put in, he looks like he's more stunned about this than anyone else. He looks like he doesn't know what to do with himself. I mean, we've seen Foxy raise the hand of AJ Scrags before, but usually it's on a next-gen show. Not a main show, and certainly not in a title, in a number one contenders match. So, well, very interesting times lie ahead for AJ Scrags, I can tell you that much. That is not Katie Harvey, that is Zombie Chick. Unless my eyes are deceiving me, that is definitely Zombie Chick. Here to judge the Fight Factory Pro Wrestling Halloween costume contest. The coveted Fight Factory Pro Wrestling Halloween costume contest. Well, if there's anyone's judgment you can trust in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, it's Foxy. Excellent choice of judge there. Yes! This is what the people want to see. Yup, the Tuck, the leader of the mid-card mafia. What a panel of judges, I have to say. Really, we've gone all out with this one.
Okay, so we need some contestants. Can we have some fancy contestants?
Oh, well, Zombie Chick appears to be picking out the contestants. There's some solid contenders here. I can't lie. Some people who've really put in the effort here. I mean, this is for a prize as good as it gets. So €50 and 2 tickets to our next show. No. There's only one winner. I'm sorry, but this is like the Halloween grapple games. You can't just have everyone win. That's not how it works. Okay, so all the judges now are going to get into their corner. They have a decision to make. This is a big decision. This is. We could get them fight. I mean, it's an option. It's an option. Okay, so we're going based off pops from the crowd. That's the problem though when you're the first contestant. You don't know, in contrast to the other ones. No, it wasn't there. I think one's in the lead. I think one still has it. I was going to say you don't know how big your pop is without being able to compare it with anyone. Oh, number 3 may be in the lead now. Well, you know, I can't. Not a popular one. Not the most popular one in the bunch. Oh, we'll call him the underdog. Oh, is 5 our winner? Polite smattering of applause, not bad, but I think out of that, 1, 3, and 5 look like they could be the favourites. Oh, well, we have another contestant So unfortunately for the contestants among us who may have thought that you know, they had won or that was over, we have one more contestant dressed up as the one and only Jay Steins. Zombie Chick is not impressed, but nothing impresses Zombie Chick. I think it's a very impressive costume. In fact, I think that could potentially be the winner. Oh, that, you didn't get a good response at all, actually. That one was a bit better. Oh, is it enough to win? Don't know. But that is an attempt. Oh, we have another Midcard Mafia member, just in case your day wasn't already good enough as it was. So we've got Dom Tuck dressed as Devin West, Devin West dressed up as Jay Steins, and now we have Jay Steins, the man himself, dressed up as Dom Tuck. This is the best. Honestly, this is the best Halloween costume contest ever, if I'm being completely honest with you. Big if. That's a lot of pops to keep on top of. Catwoman's still a favourite. Still contestant number 3 may have this. It's now between 3 and 5. 4 might as well go home now, or at least just leave the ring. Congratulations to Miss Adams on an incredible victory. 5-star Halloween costume contest, and Zombie Chick awarding the victory. Oh, it was heartbreak for everyone else, but there can only be one winner, despite what Colin tried to suggest earlier. And, you know, they should all be proud of themselves. They put in a really good effort. My heart goes out to the Midcard Mafia, of course, as well. All put in a great effort by dressing as other Midcard Mafia members. But, you know, it is what it is. Security. Security now, if you don't mind, just in you get. Yes! No, the costume contest is over, I believe. I'm a bit confused now. Which one's Dom Tuck? I don't know. It was a good costume. I mean, What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, even Zombie Chick has just snapped out of it. That's fucking... This is just... Oh, this is just a bit of fun. This is the Halloween costume contest. This is... What the fuck? Why did he attack Dom Tuck? Why? I'm gonna have to apologise for my lack of apology. I am just speechless, and it was just kind of came out of nowhere. Obviously, you have your issues, you can talk about it, you can... I mean, Dom Tuck is heartbroken. I'm shocked. Dom Tuck used to be his hero. What do you mean by that? This is a very, very interesting fight. Of course, Martin Steers, almost unrecognisable to the Martin Steers we would have known this time a year ago. But he has an opponent now tonight, and we don't know who it is. It was meant to be Wild Boar, of course. Wild Boar couldn't make it, so now we're going to find out who makes their Fight Factory Pro Wrestling debut here tonight. Well, things have gotten very interesting. Jay has entered the Fight Factory. And Jay has not just entered the Fight Factory, Jay has thrown himself to the wolves really by coming in and taking on Martin Steers in his Fight Factory Pro Wrestling debut. But if there's anyone who can handle that sort of occasion, I would expect it to be Jay, and all of a sudden, we have an incredibly unpredictable match in our hands. An Irish wrestling dream match, dare I say it. Martin Steers versus Jay. Alright, the bell has rung. And this is fascinating because, you know, stylistically, this is quite tough for Martin Steers in a sense. Because, you know, when Martin Steers, last time we saw him, he took on Big Guns Joe, a very tough test for Steers. But he took on Big Guns Joe and he managed to get himself the victory. But in doing so, he was able to use his speed to his advantage, his agility to his advantage, and he was able to circumnavigate the threat that Big Guns Joe brought to the table by implementing a very smart and very deliberate strategy. Coming up against Jay, as everybody refers to Steers as the Ballymun Rat, after splitting up Club Rock Shandy and sending Clong packing with some severe injuries. And you know, I don't want to be dismissive of Clong. We're all thinking of Clong, I hope he's doing well, but Martin Steers, in his last fight, was able to use aspects of his game that his opponent didn't have to get the win. However, if he wants to use his speed, his quickness, his agility, and his technical ability, and he's coming up against Jay. Jay has an answer for all of that himself. These two are very evenly matched, very well balanced, and this is a very, very tough fight for Martin Steers. Bearing in mind, as Jay very nearly gets some quick pins in there. But you know, you look at Jay, and this is someone who really could derail Martin Steers' momentum after the gamble that Martin Steers took. And I will call it a gamble to, you know, not just to make a run at it in singles competition, but to betray your partner in the process. And you know, to do the damage that you did to him, and to really just delete all of your fanfare overnight and become the least popular member of the Fight Factory roster. There is no going back after that. It is the ultimate gamble, I say time and time again. And really for Steers, now there's an element of pressure because he's coming in now and he has to fight Jay. And, you know, for Martin Steers, if this all falls apart here tonight, you know, what's next for Martin Steers? He was eyeing up gold. He was eyeing up the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship. He was eyeing up the best of the best in singles competition. But now he's got it in a form that he wasn't expecting. He's got it in Jay, who, despite being one of Ireland's best wrestlers at the minute, is someone we haven't seen here in Fight Factory. And if Jay derails Martin Steers here tonight, I mean, I don't know what Steers is going to do to react to that, but Jesus! Open hand slap to the chest as Jay up to the top rope. Comes flying off and sends Martin Steers flying with the head scissors as Steers looks to regain his bearings. But you also have to bear in mind as well that Martin Steers, as he manages to cause Jay to land on his neck, of course Martin Steers won't care if Jay's injured. You know, you get some fighters that come in here and they say they want to beat their opponent, they don't want to hurt their opponent, they want to beat their opponent, they don't want to injure their opponent. Martin Steers is happy to do all those things. He's happy to beat, hurt and injure everybody he shares the ring with. Because Martin Steers has no empathy. He can't afford to have empathy at this stage. After everything he's done, empathy's out the window. I'll let the fans sing what they want to sing. Martin Steers is a rat, is what they're saying. I have to be an unbiased professional, but I'm not going to disagree with them, I'll say that much. And Martin Steers again doing what I refer to as the Nate Diaz, you know, getting your opponent into a pinning position. In the case of Diaz, it was submission and taunting while your opponent's in trouble. It's not. That isn't really about putting your opponent away. Steers knows that's not going to put his opponent away. For Steers, that's just mind games. For Steers, it's flexing to the fans, flexing to his opponent, and most importantly to himself. It's important for Steers, despite, you know, being quick and fast and that being a very, you know, strong aspect of his game. For Steers, it's also important to stay calm and stay calculated. You know what I mean? Don't be rash. If you're rash and you make a mistake against Jay, you know, Jay is young. And he's not the most experienced wrestler on this island, but he's not a rookie. You know, Jay is somebody who, if you make a mistake in the ring with Jay, you're not going to fare too well. But Jay got clipped there with a kick to the back of the head. He seems to still be clutching onto that back of the head. He's back up to his feet now, but if you look into his eyes, there's a lot of pain there. You can see it in his body language. And Steers not helping by slamming him onto the bit of the canvas. But one thing that's really impressive about Martin Steers is showing thus far is the fact that he's had to display adaptability. Martin Steers came into this preparing for Wild Boar, somebody from, you know, it's just fresh out of WWE, but somebody who's a monster, somebody who's, again, similar to his last opponent in the sense that he's strong, he's big, he uses that power more than anything else. Also a bit unhinged, which can have its pros and cons, but you know, you compare Wild Boar to Jay, it's a completely different fighter. They are polar opposites. And Martin Steers didn't know until a few minutes ago who his opponent was going to be tonight. And it turns out to be somebody completely the polar opposite to what he would have been preparing for beforehand. So Martin Steers, in this fight, has had to show a whole other level of adaptability, while Jay, on the other hand, don't know when he got the call, don't know when he was aware of this fight taking place. May have only been a couple of days. It's the short-nosed fight for him too, no doubt about it. But he knows when he's told he's fighting Martin Steers, he's fighting Martin Steers. And he got to prepare for that, and he had more time to prepare for that than Steers did. Not that the fans will have an issue with that, but Jay has Martin Steers in trouble. A precarious position. Likely won't be enough to put Martin Steers away, but every time you do, of course, go for a quick pinfall attempt. You know, every kick out from your opponent exerts energy, and it's energy that they need. It's very valuable energy, especially in a match between two wrestlers as quick and as pacey as Jay and Martin Steers. You need to have that energy conservation. You need to be able to go right until the final bell as Jay goes for that brainbuster. Martin Steers doing very well to keep things grounded, putting all his energy into that low center of gravity, keeping the feet on the ground. And Martin Steers sends his body flying. Now sends Jay flying with an exploder suplex into the middle of the ring. And Steers would stall Steers. Use that against Big Guns Joe, and it was effective. But in this particular fight, Jay, again, he has to quickly skid out of the way. It's a whole different fight. This is a whole different fight than what Steers was ready for. And of course, it goes without saying that Jay has the fans behind him. Jay's used to having the fans behind him. One of the most popular wrestlers on this island. However, I think it's safe to say that anybody coming up against Steers has the crowd behind them. And an uppercut from Steers cuts off the momentum of Jay, or so I thought, but Jay follows Steers over to the other side of the ring, cutting him off. Oh, and a super kick. Oh, and a Spanish fly. Oh, but Steers kicks out at 2. Do notice, however, he did take longer to kick out of that than at any other point earlier in this fight, so he's really starting to feel the effects. And this is something you notice as the fight progresses. The adrenaline wears down, and you start to become more aware of where you are, the situation you're in. You become aware of the energy that you've exerted over the course of this fight, and things get a lot more challenging, and you start to feel the pain a lot more, and things start to slow down a bit. So Steers, to his credit, was always somebody who was full of energy and was somebody who knows how to bring it to the end. But he's going to really need that in the springboard stunner. He's caught by Jay, lands on his feet, throws Martin Steers into the corner, and Jay just not giving Martin Steers a second to breathe. That's important. Off the middle rope, and a lovely moonsault off the middle rope. And Steers kicks out at 2. Jay really finding his momentum as he goes for the brainbuster. Oh, and a lovely counter from Martin Steers. Now going for a brainbuster of his own. I don't think he'll be able to put it off. His back looks to be in pain. It's countered by Jay, who hits it. But that initial counter, I cannot explain to you. I know Steers is out now, but that initial counter from Martin Steers into the stunner, that is what Steers does better than anyone else on this island. The way he can flip the switch and completely change the direction of a fight in a matter of seconds, that is something that Steers, that is what puts him in the top tier of Irish wrestling. And Foxy pushed into the ropes by Steers. What that is fight IQ. It might not be the most moral thing, it might not be the most honourable thing to do if you're Martin Steers off that top turnbuckle. And Steers, with that adrenaline I was talking about earlier, can't even feel the pain that he's in. A springboard stunner. Looks like he got enough of it. He did. Just about getting enough of it. Very, very impressive showing by Martin Steers. Love him or hate him, which I'm sure we all hate him, let's be honest. But that is an incredibly impressive performance for so many different reasons on short notice against an opponent that he didn't know he would be facing until the music hit. Obviously, it's not great viewing if you're Clong or if you're an Irish wrestling fan who has seen how things have played out over the course of this year. But there really is no room for sentiment in professional wrestling. There's no room for sentiment in any sport. Well, what an interesting time for CBL. He got an incredible opportunity at our last show against one of the most experienced wrestlers in all of Europe, Martin Kirby. And despite putting on what I would consider to be a good showing, he did come up short in the end. And this led to an exchange between CBL and LJ Cleary backstage after the show. LJ noticed that CBL was happy. He noticed that he was content after his loss. It didn't really light a fire under him. He was happy enough to keep going. And it offended LJ Cleary. It offended him because he sees the same amount of talent in CBL that everybody else does. They know there is an excellent wrestler in CBL, one that is capable of getting big wins when he needs to. But what LJ says is that CBL isn't taking it seriously. He's having too much fun. He's messing about too much. And that is hindering his potential. I don't know if you can hear this, but there's almost a little bit of a mixed reaction for LJ Cleary. Of course, the usual cheers and claps, but a smattering of boos in between there as well. A lot of people really unhappy with LJ Cleary. I mean, he did slap CBL, I should mention as well. It wasn't just, an exchange of words. He slapped CBL. An attempt to slap some sense into him is probably what LJ Cleary is thinking. It'd be a lie to say that LJ Cleary doesn't care about CBL, or he doesn't want what's best for CBL. He certainly does care about him, but is he going about helping him in the right way? That is the question. Very, very interesting fight. I mean, this is also worth mentioning. 5 years to the day that CBL stepped foot in Fight Factory for the first time as a trainee, and here he is now wrestling one of Ireland's absolute best. But is he going to win? Well, that is down potentially to what LJ Cleary was saying, if he can take it seriously enough. Even on CBL's most serious day, it's a tough test, but if he messes, if he takes the piss, if he doesn't take it seriously, I really don't see how CBL has a chance here, if I'm being honest. You see they're referring to CBL as easy work. But this is... Look, LJ Cleary he's not showing respect to CBL. He wants to fire him up. He wants to get into his head, get him angry. But this, at the end of the day, this is not just, a colleague or a fellow trainee of CBL's. This is a mentor. This is a coach. Somebody who has taught CBL more than anyone else in Irish professional wrestling, and that is saying a lot. There's a lot of experienced heads here in Fight Factory, a lot of people with a lot of knowledge, and that's why we have the quality of wrestler, getting onto these shows and going on to do great things. But LJ Cleary doesn't see CBL being one of those wrestlers unless he completely changes his mindset. You see LJ Cleary holding CBL into the corner. And LJ Cleary, you do have to wonder though, in the head of LJ Cleary, is this tough love, or is there legitimate frustrations seeping in to the head of LJ Cleary just a little bit? Do remember, he came up short against Fabio in an excellent match to determine who was the greatest Irish Junior Heavyweight champion of all time, where it was declared at the end that it wasn't him because Fabio won it. And he didn't qualify for Grapple Games. He lost, again, a good match, but he still lost to Debbie Keitel. He took on the Saviours and looked like himself and Fabio were going to win the Irish Tag Team Championships of the Saviours of Destiny, but due to circumstances, due to interference, due to cheating and shortcuts, he ended up going from a 2v2 to a 2v1 and losing to both of the Saviours. And you have to wonder, is this all weighing on LJ Cleary? There's no denying the ability of LJ Cleary, of course there isn't. There's no denying what he brings to the table, the experience, Everything LJ Cleary has, he is champion material. If you can beat LJ Cleary, you're effectively a number one contender, area. That's where you rank in Fight Factory if you're able to beat LJ Cleary. But what's notable here is just the crowd are really rooting for CBL. There's a really big crowd. I won't call it a hometown advantage. The man is from Longford, of course. He does have that farmer tan as well, that farmer strength that gets him through a lot of his fights. But he is from Longford, but this is his home in a wrestling sense. These people love CBL. There isn't a single person who has seen CBL wrestle that doesn't love CBL. So when you take what LJ Cleary has to say into account, CBL has the popularity. If he can string together some wins, and if he can really turn his potential into ability, he could be a megastar. He could be the man here, not just in Ireland, but in all around Europe, all around the world. CBL could be the next big thing, but he's not going to be the next big thing, according to LJ Cleary, if he doesn't take these fights seriously. But if you look at CBL now, eyeing up LJ Cleary as LJ walks around the ring, there is a serious look in his eyes. It's different body language. It's a side of CBL we're not used to seeing. It is a little bit uncomfortable, I won't lie. It's a bit weird, but this is what CBL needs to do. But of course, you also have to look at it from the perspective of CBL fighting a mentor and fighting someone that has taught him so much and has helped him up to this point in his career. Is it a source of motivation to beat somebody who has taught you most of what you know, or is there almost an element of hesitation, an element, dare I say, of fear? Not that CBL is somebody you would associate with fear, but when you're taking on somebody who's had that sort of position over you for your entire career as a wrestler thus far, it can be a little bit off-putting psychologically. You know what I mean? You look at CBL, there has never been a match that CBL has been in that has been as serious as this one. So you do wonder, will that be a bit of a hindrance to CBL, the sort of lack of big match experience? But also, from LJ Cleary's perspective, if you do teach somebody most of what they know, technically you do have that advantage. You do have that advantage over them. I mean, you can predict what they're going to do before they even decide they're going to do it. That's what happens when you know a wrestler so well. LJ Cleary, it's almost like he's just fixated on CBL being, wasteful of what he can do, and that's. I feel like LJ Cleary almost perceives it as disrespect as a former coach of CBL's to have one of your trainees not take it seriously, but CBL has no choice but to take that kick to the chest seriously. LJ's giving CBL time to recover. The fans don't appreciate LJ Cleary taunting and saying, "Get on my level." And I can understand why. But LJ Cleary is in his element. Really solid punch to the back of CBL. There was a lot of anger behind that punch as well, but CBL retaliates with a lovely chop of his own, and LJ Cleary with a snapmare and a chop to the back of the neck, and LJ Cleary, he's just doing what he does best. And just when CBL looks like he's taking it seriously, just when CBL looks like he might be getting the upper hand, LJ Cleary, he's just been incredibly dominant since the start of this fight. It's not as well balanced as some of the other fights we've seen thus far, and that is what happens when you've taught your opponent most of what they know. LJ Cleary, of course, known for his excellent footwork, his balance, and his striking. was... That landed on the neck of CBL, the back of his neck, and that was rough. I mean, really, you associate LJ Cleary more with the technical side of his game. You don't typically associate him as much of a strong man or a power man. It's just not really his style. But so many strikes that he has thrown at CBL are really, really painful for CBL to be taken. And you do wonder how many of these CBL can take before things start to get a little bit too much. I don't want to be disrespectful and say that CBL is out of his depth, but this is, these are deep waters, I'll say that much. On an elbow from LJ Cleary, who of course pulling no punches here tonight. But this is almost a different LJ Cleary to what we're used to. This is not the Blair, somewhat goofy, happy-go-lucky LJ Cleary. This is a more... I mean, we talk about, are we going to see a different CBL tonight? Are we going to see a serious CBL? I think we're seeing a different LJ Cleary as well. This is an angry LJ Cleary, a motivated LJ Cleary. This is an LJ Cleary who seems to... I don't want to say care about this fight as much as his others, but or more than his previous fights, but he certainly cares about it, at the very least, as much. And considering he's been in title matches after title matches, that just shows how much he cares about this and getting the win here tonight. But equally, as much as he wants to win here tonight, there's almost a side of him that is looking at CBL, and it's almost as if he doesn't want this to be a victory, an easy win. He doesn't want this to be a victory where, he beats CBL and it doesn't lead to anything because people are like, oh, that's CBL, he's goofy, he's a funny guy. He wants to get the most out of CBL so he can say, right, I have beaten the best that CBL has to offer. And LJ Cleary, locking in a double leg Boston Crab. Shades of the current Ring of Honor champion, LJ Cleary. CBL is actually looks like he might be able to grab the rope, but it's easier said than done. Oh, but he gets there. CBL latches onto that rope. But one thing about LJ Cleary that's really something you learn with experience is, when your opponent gets to the ropes in those situations, you don't throw a tantrum or start crying to the ref or, sit there astounded. You keep at it. You keep wrestling, keep fighting, keep grinding, and keep doing what you need to do. But CBL manages to find himself an opening. But I do have to say, and I'm not trying to discredit CBL because, he is still in there, but when CBL gets a bit of attacking on LJ Cleary, the difference between this and previous CBL matches, such as, the 5-way or I believe it was a 6-way, the scramble, and his match against Martin Kirby even, I mean, he came close to beating Kirby, don't forget. This feels more like every time he gets a bit of attack in, it's almost like a reprieve, it's almost like a break. It doesn't feel like CBL is capitalizing. It doesn't feel like at any point during this fight, CBL is the one you've looked at and gone, yes, he's going to win. But of course, this is combat sports and anything can happen in combat sport. CBL with some uppercuts to LJ Cleary. Now LJ's down in the corner. And CBL. These uppercuts are landing. This is a part of his game that perhaps he should expand on. And you know that an open-handed slap to the chest is bad good, depending on how you look at it, when it sends your opponent off his feet. But CBL isn't too put off by it. CBL, he actually does have the size advantage. Worth noting, he has the size advantage, he has the power advantage, and he's only really starting to use that now as he hops onto the middle rope and off the top. A shoulder tackle knocks LJ Cleary off his feet, and LJ kicks out at 2. Well, I was going to say, perhaps CBL might want to take the most out of this 10 count from Foxy, but it looks like he's straight up to his feet. He just wants to keep going. Is that a lack of experience of CBL's? And would he be better off, taken a bit more time, or would LJ have just capitalised if he allowed him to have that more all that time? Off the middle rope, and CBL with some great movement, managing to evade that. Now he has LJ Cleary up in the fireman's carry and a rolling senton, and CBL, he's on the middle rope. But look, he's spending too much time. I didn't want to say it because if it worked, fair enough, but he's took too much time looking at the crowd, seeking validation from the fans, getting them on side. I mean, they're already on side. He doesn't need to do that. And as a result, LJ Cleary jumps up and catches him with a knee. Fortunately for CBL, that knee didn't clash with his head. It seemed to clash more so with his body, a bit further down, so it wasn't knocked out, not concussed. He's able to keep going. But LJ Cleary's flying knee, that's a weapon that he has. And we have seen that in many of LJ's fights. It can really turn things around for LJ, and just in the heat of the moment. LJ Cleary getting Foxy to check up on CBL. That tells you everything you need to know about the kick. You normally just keep kicking, but LJ's like, is CBL okay? At the end of the day, he doesn't hate this man. He just wants to A, beat him, and he wants to B, see CBL reach his fullest potential. Not like Martin Steers, for example. He doesn't want to injure CBL in this scenario. But CBL isn't going to give up. CBL, say what you want about CBL's inability to take things seriously in a lot of his fights. CBL, one thing you can't question, and we're going to see it put to the test now, is his heart. And I don't just mean physically, I mean like genuinely his drive, his will to continue, and he catches LJ Cleary. LJ doing everything he can, slapping the face of CBL, try and get him to release the leg. LJ Cleary, there's very little he can do with one leg, and CBL! Could CBL be on the verge of the biggest win of his career? LJ Cleary counters him. Up on the middle turnbuckle, LJ Cleary, looked like he was going to go for a destroyer of sorts. CBL counters it, he catches him. Well, he has caught him, but hasn't counted it. I mean, maybe I spoke too soon. LJ Cleary is just sort of trapped in midair. And now we're getting more punches to the back of that neck, and that's something I'd be worried about. If I was Foxy, I'd be looking at that very closely. The punches to the back of the neck have been very, very strong from LJ Cleary, very damaging. And a fighter will, sometimes you do need to protect the fighter from themselves. That is very much a thing in combat sport. When they come as strong as CBL mentally, CBL! Oh, and I really did think that was it for CBL. Oh my god, right into the midsection. LJ Cleary, he's caught! Looked like he went for a flying knee. CBL drops him, and CBL with a boot to the head. And CBL, he plants LJ Cleary, and I was just about ready to say beats LJ Cleary, but LJ clicks out at 2, and he's not stopping. CBL is still going. LJ still kicks out. This is very, very interesting. It really, one thing I've criticised CBL for doing over the course of this match is taking it easy and not, piling on the pressure on LJ when the opening arises, because he himself is trying to recover and take all the time that he needs. But that was a case of CBL not giving up and being relentless. That's the key word here, relentless. He was relentless with LJ Cleary there, and it very nearly paid dividends. But you have to remember, LJ Cleary, one of the best wrestlers in Europe at the minute, for a reason. CBL with the Irish whip into the corner, and just Ramming the shoulder into the midsection puts LJ Cleary up onto the top turnbuckle. LJ Cleary's trying to fight this off by punching the midsection of CBL, trying to get a good strike maybe to the ribs or something that will cause CBL to drop off this position. And oh, it looks like it may have gotten there. Oh, very, very smart from LJ Cleary. Spinning back kick as CBL looks like he's out. CBL looks like he's out, and this is it. Double leg Boston Crab, Lion Tamer actually, and CBL taps. That is it. Ring the bell. It's over. Oh, and that's all that LJ Cleary wanted, really. He wants CBL to bring that fight. And he brought that fight. CBL didn't get the win, but he certainly showed what he's capable of, and he certainly showed that CBL is progressing. He's not just some funny man that's here to be Fight Factory's punchline. This is a man who you can stick in there with the best in Europe. And, you know, this is, look, it's a second loss for CBL on the bounce, but we'll see just how he reacts to this one. This is it, Team PB&J currently 0-1 on their tag team endeavors. And why that is the case, maybe we'll see in this match, maybe they've adapted, we don't know, but as it stands, JB is not exactly a team player. But Party Boy, he has shown up in Halloween costume spirit. Could have been a potential winner if he'd shown up earlier, and could have potentially prevented the Halloween costume contest from getting absolutely ruined. But anyway. I'm just letting the fans say what they want to say. There's really nothing for me to commentate here. I haven't heard a single JB chant tonight, nor have I ever heard a single JB chant in my life. And until JB learns that he will never get that chant, and he doesn't need that chant, he'll be better off. Well, Team PB&J, more combined experience in the ring between these two men than I have of life experience. They have to come in here, they have to fight not Team PB&J, but Team PB and JB, who, as you can see, not exactly the most popular wrestler. You know, I may have said that Martin Steers is the least popular wrestler in Fight Factory. I may have to retract that statement. JB, I have never seen a single JB fan in my life. Martin Steers is hated, but he is respected begrudgingly. JB is just, there's just no love, no respect. But he gives what he gets, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, JB, you see the respect or lack thereof that he gives Party Boy, his tag team partner, and it is his tag team partner. Don't let JB's attitude towards these tag team matches fool you. These are not handicap matches, these are tag team 2-on-2 matches. But these are matches that come across as handicap matches because JB insists on making them such. He does not want to be a team player. He doesn't want to work alongside his partner. Foxy, you know, Foxy does wear it better. I'm just going to say it now. I mean, it's controversial. I'll say it quietly so JB doesn't come over and eat me. But that is, Foxy is he just rocks it. Justy is insisting, or requesting anyway, that the match starts with Party Boy rather than JB. JB, he's confident enough. He got me. He did get me. I thought we were going to see Party Boy get tagged in. The fans wanted Justy giving his pre-match handshake to Party Boy. Now this is what JB's going to need to do if he wants to win a tag team match. He is going to have to tag in. Oh, when he goes for a super kick, Justy too experienced for that. He can see that coming a mile away. Gives the boot over to Foxy. Foxy gives it back to Justy. Justy walks into the corner and takes the legs out from underneath JB. And Justy brings JB over to Phil Boyd. And let's not forget though, Team PB&J are on a quest for gold. Team PB&J They are after the Saviours of Destiny, make no mistake about it, but there is a reason why Team PB&J are wrestling Team PB&JB and not the Saviours of Destiny for gold tonight, and it is because, despite not being pinned or submitted by the Saviours of Destiny when they lost the titles, as JB not quite as precise as he'd like to be, but it's because the Bearded Beauties went in there, and while Team PB&J had their talk show, the Bearded Beauties got a win over this exact team. So if Phil and Justy can beat Team PB&JB, then surely they're next in line. They have to be. And with great attacks like that from Phil Boyd, I don't want to call where I think a match is going before it happens, but I mean, it's hard to imagine Team PB&J not being able to get the victory here tonight. And it's not because JB doesn't have ability. It's because he is one of the dumbest wrestlers in this company. Mentally, I know that's quite heavy words coming from a commentator, I know, but mentally, the man is unhinged. You know, you're coming up against Team PB&J, you know, former Irish Tag Team Champions. And I don't know if that tag between Phil and Party Boy will count. Of course, Justy would love it if it did, but you know, you see Team PB&J, and it's just JB has the weakest mentality because he's too selfish, and because, you know, it's almost like he doesn't understand. He doesn't learn from his losses, and that's a very important thing when you're ascending the ranks. You want to learn from your losses. But right now, all JB is learning is not to stay in the corner while Justy and Phil Boyd Irish whip each other into him, and Justy's bollocks after that. The fans want Foxy to get involved. Justy's going for an Irish whip, but Foxy, legally I think he can do that. I mean, I suppose legally he can do anything. He is the ref. But within the rule book, I don't think it violates it. But you know, you could argue perhaps that is it right for refs to be getting involved like this? I think when it involves JB, there's a certain referee's discretion. Like, you're allowed to get involved if it's JB. It's JB. You know, there's no negative to JB getting beaten up. That's just how it is. Phil Boyd wants Party Boy in. He is physically forcing JB to tag in. His tag team partner, JB, doing anything in his power to prevent that from happening. But what is the point? If you're JB, and look at the advantage he's now got over Phil Boyd. Physically, he's going to work and he's doing what he needs to do, and yet, you know, it's hard to identify a path to victory, because if he's not going to tag in his partner, then how is he meant to do anything? And he's fired up. Look, it is impressive. I don't want to understate, you know, what JB is showing us here. It is impressive. Phil Boyd is, you know, again, as experienced as it gets. So for JB to come in here and to really put the boots to Phil and, you know, really get him into the position that he's got him in, that's impressive. No denying that. But at the same time, you know, where is he going to go? Fans screaming, "We want Party Boy." Oh, I thought we were going to get it. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I saw JB look a little bit. I was like, maybe, no. JB. Phil into the corner, and Phil Boyd turns things around. And showcasing his strikes to the head of JB. It's not enough to knock JB out. JB. But it's not like the thing about JB is that he's just, he does something really impressive. And he does. I will give him credit if the fans don't. He does have impressive physical attributes. But when he does something cool, something that gives him the advantage, there's just no developing on that. He just starts shouting. And Phil Boyd with a lariat. That is not a clothesline, that is a lariat. In case you don't know the difference, if your opponent's head is still attached to his body, it's a clothesline. And I can't really say from here for sure that JB's head is still attached. But Justy wants to tag, Party Boy wants to tag, and I respect his optimism. Party Boy still believes JB will never in a million years tag him in, but Party Boy still believes there is a place for him in this match. And JB's in the corner. Party Boy tags himself in. Party Boy tags himself in to possibly the loudest reaction of the night, and clotheslines all around to Justy, to Phil Boyd. And JB gets a clothesline for his trouble. Party Boy unfazed. And hip tosses to Team PB&J and to JB as well. Why not? And now a scoot slam. And man, this is what happens when you tag in your partner. Who would have thought? Well, I mean, okay, I wouldn't have expected that. But then again, his partner is JB. And yeah, you know what? Why not? Why not? Okay, manages to avoid disqualification. That would be a good reason not to. Actually, legally you can't. It's worth pointing out. And Party Boy. Face painted Party Boy is a whole different Party Boy. This is like Demon Party Boy. This is next level Party Boy. This is a Party Boy that can take out two of the most experienced wrestlers in all of Europe in one go. This is... and JB. He gets blocked by Team PB&J, who Irish whip JB into Party Boy. And it's weird what we're seeing from Party Boy. It's almost like he's not too arsed of stopping JB from getting attacked. I mean, he's caught JB there now, and through no fault of his own, has thrown JB across the ring, which JB, of course, is only going to take in the way that JB can. But Party Boy now looking for revenge against Justy and Phil. Instead it's thrown back with a slap across the face of JB. And Phil throwing the foot of Party Boy into JB. Party Boy has done almost as much damage to JB in his run as his partner, as PB&J have. As they convince Party Boy that perhaps they are friends. Party Boy's getting it into his head. Perhaps this is the team he was meant to be a part of all along. There we go. Oh no, maybe we don't go. Team PB&J Irish ripping Party Boy, and Party Boy underneath, and a double DDT from Party Boy. That's a really impressive showing, it has to be said. Attacking his own partner aside, he's really putting in a lot of good damage here to Justy and Phil Boyd. Party Boy going from one side of the ring to the other, and a picture perfect splash. What dare I say? Party Boy was going to pick up the win for his team, but in comes JB, and and there's a kick out at 2, but JB for a second looked like he was going to steal the pinfall victory for his team. JB signaling for the end here. The scissor kick, it misses. Phil Boyd pushing him into the ropes, and Team PB&J are throwing JB into the tombstone position on Party Boy and forcing Party Boy to give a tombstone to his own partner. Team PB&J. Phil's distracting him, just he goes for the pin, and Foxy counts it. That's it. And you know what? For all the shit I gave JB for not wanting to tag in his partner, and I still think that JB is an awful tag team wrestler, there is perhaps an argument after watching this unfold that maybe he was right. Maybe he was better off not tagging in Party Boy after all the damage that Party Boy managed to do there. But you know what? Impressive showing nonetheless from Party Boy. He did damage just the ankle Boyd as well as his partner. And what lies in store now for Team PB&J? I didn't see this initially, but Saviours of Destiny have attacked Phil Boyd, and Justy tries to take them on his own, but Saviours of Destiny cracking Justy over the head with the bat. And Owen Richards now picking Justy up by the hair. I don't want to say I think I know what they're going for here, but I think I know what they're going for here. Dare I say, shades of Negan. We have the bat. We now have the cable ties to handcuff Justy. And security or somebody's going to want to do something here, because this can get dangerous. We know the Saviours of Destiny, they would rather kill Justy than have to defend their titles against Team PB&J 2-on-2. But Phil Boyd coming in from behind. They don't see him. He has the chair. And the chair knocks the bat out of Andy Steele's hand, and the Saviours go running. Really, there is only one match we can have now. Surely, there is only one match we can have now for the Irish Tag Team titles. Oh, the Saviours. They want to go in and get their bat, but they can't. Phil Boyd has just cleared the ring of the Saviours. And could the Saviours be staring at the team that may take the titles from them sooner rather than later? Making her Fight Factory Pro Wrestling debut, former WWE superstar Nina Samuels. Somebody who we've seen wrestle in this country before. Somebody who we've seen wrestle all across Europe before. Somebody who really has all the ability and all the potential. Yeah, look, with Anita Vaughan right now, what's going through her head is one thing and one thing only, and that's Katie Harvey. which is not ideal when you're entering a triple threat match with two opponents, neither of whom being Katie Harvey. But if she wants Katie Harvey, she's going to have to try pick up a win here against someone with the caliber of Nina Samuels and, of course, Debbie Keitel, who's, you know, one of Fight Factory's biggest stars at the minute as well. So you know, it kills me to talk over this entrance. Maybe I should just not do it then. Maybe I should just say nothing. But Debbie Keitel seems raring and ready to go, and it's interesting because Debbie Keitel, you have to imagine she's not 100% since you know, the bin match that we saw last month. One of the most toughest matches that I've seen here in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling from a physical demand standpoint. You know, really, it's one of those matches you have to see to really understand it. But the bin match, you know, careers are shortened. That's all I'll say. So for Debbie Keitel to be back here the following month, competing against Anita Vaughan and Nina Samuels, it's really a testament to her drive and her passion for this. Really. You know, she's somebody who's been getting closer and closer to gold in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling. You know, made it as far as the grapple games. Unfortunately, didn't quite get it done there. But I'm sure we'll see more title matches for Debbie Keitel in the future. But she is going to have to overcome the odds here. And it's funny because going into this match, overcoming the odds meant, you know, 1v1v1. But it looks like we're getting a 2v1, almost like a mini handicap match, as a temporary alliance was formed between Nina Samuels and Anita Vaughan, who, you know, really we should have seen it coming. Personality-wise, Nina Samuels and Anita Vaughan are, dare I say, almost the same person. But of course, at the end of the day, there can only be one winner, and it's interesting to see how long before this team just collapses in on itself. But Anita Vaughan, what I was going to say earlier, basically about the Katie Harvey point, was that, you know, does it serve as motivation or is it a distraction? You know, mentally, when you're in a triple threat, it's the one type of match you cannot be distracted in any way, because you need to have your wits about you at all times to keep an eye on multiple opponents at once. Anita Vaughan, her obsession with Katie Harvey is almost making her, you know, that bit more unhinged. It's not just a case of, you know, here's the most opulent wrestler on this island. This is now somebody who's kind of a bit more unhinged, a little bit crazier, dare I say. And again, taking her eyes off the ball there was enough to get Anita Vaughan wiped out by Debbie Keitel. Nina Samuels is now in there, and she has a chance to get Debbie Keitel. Where this gets interesting is, you know, Nina Samuels we've seen in WWE, but in WWE there's a structure, there's a weekly show, and you only wrestle, you know, once every couple of weeks, depending, or maybe, you know, once a week, once every couple of weeks, depending on the situation. When you know, when you're no longer a part of that structure and you're back out onto the independent scene, you could be wrestling, you know, night after night in city after city, place after place. It's a whole different world. It's a world that Nina Samuels is used to. And I don't expect Nina Samuels to have any ring rust physically, but will she lack match sharpness? Will she lack perhaps the sort of, you know, mentally the sharpness that you need to win against someone like Debbie Keitel and Anita Vaughan? But of course, coming back out onto the independent scene, she's going to have a point to prove. She's happy to take all these fights. She's happy to build that consistency. She's happy to take on the best, such as Debbie Keitel and Anita Vaughan. Anita Vaughan clearing the ring of Nina Samuels. So the temporary alliance, it didn't last too long. Usually you can get a little bit longer, but, you know, Anita Vaughan and Nina Samuels, while they mesh well personality-wise, it's a sort of personality where really you're not a team player. And Debbie Keitel taking full advantage of that. Debbie Keitel showing what she's capable of here, really showing no signs of physical damage after the bin match, it has to be said. But she's distracted, not looking at Anita Vaughan. Anita Vaughan rolls her up quickly. Only 2 and a head kick from Anita Vaughan. Anita Vaughan going for another pinfall attempt, which is never a bad thing to do, but she's going to need to keep calm, going to need to stop the fans from getting into her head. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you turn around and you start talking shit to the fans. When you have a job to do, it's not always the most effective way to go about it, but it hasn't slowed Anita Vaughan down. She still has the upper hand over Debbie Keitel. Keitel kicks out at 2. Nina Samuels, you see her. That was very smart, very good ring awareness from Anita Vaughan. Very good fight IQ to identify Nina Samuels trying to re-enter the match and cutting off that opportunity before it even starts. Normally I would say that Anita Vaughan, her best bet is to sort of slow down the pace and you know, fight her fight rather than playing into the strategy of her opponents. But you really, you know, in triple threat action or in any sort of multi-person fight, fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way, so on and so forth, it's quite difficult to slow the pace down. It's quite difficult to fight your fight because things are so hectic, they're so chaotic. You know, there's opponents just flying at you effectively. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see will her approach be different as this fight goes on. Anita Vaughan picking up Keitel and just launching her. You know, I can barely hear myself think. The fans really booing that loudly for Anita Vaughan. They do not want Anita Vaughan to walk out here with the victory. Nina Samuels with some strikes to Anita Vaughan. Anita Vaughan fires back. You know, not just personality-wise, these two are very well matched in the ring, which really, as much as I hate to give Anita Vaughan any credit for any reason, Anita Vaughan, you know, it's a credit to her that she's able to hold her own in there with Nina Samuels. It doesn't look like that now while she's getting her face pulled off, but up to this point, she has looked very much an equal of Nina Samuels, which when you look at what Nina Samuels has achieved over the course of her career and the experience that she has, it just goes to show how much of a breakout year 2022 has been for Anita Vaughan and what she's achieved in that time with a drop kick to the back. And Anita Vaughan kicks out at 2. Nina Samuels is going to want to be careful not to get too frustrated. You know, when you have that sort of personality where you feel like, you know, things are kind of owed to you, you know, you feel as though you hit your best moves and that you're owed a victory. But, you know, when you take on somebody who's as hard to put away as Anita Vaughan can be at times, it's going to take a lot to put her away. And rough landing for Anita Vaughan on the outside. Nina Samuels from behind on Debbie. Debbie is caught right where she doesn't want to be. And Nina Samuels, I was going to say into the back, but Debbie Keitel manages to somehow get out of the way. And now Debbie Keitel with the forearms. Now Debbie Keitel, underratedly strong. Former powerlifting champion, rolls up. Goes to roll up Nina Samuels, catches her with a knee, knocking Nina Samuels out. And another knee to the face of Anita Vaughan. Now Anita Vaughan is rocking. Could Debbie Keitel potentially pick up the victory here? Nina Samuels is back up at her feet, but is she there? Oh, wow. Well, I was going to question whether or not Nina Samuels was all there after the knee, but I think that kind of speaks for itself. Oh, this could be a win for Nina Samuels. But Debbie Keitel kicks out at 2, and you know, when you make your Fight Factory Pro Wrestling debut, it's quite a big deal. You know, when you look at somebody like Nina Samuels, if she gets the win here tonight, she has to come back. You know, that forces Fight Factory management to bring Nina Samuels back, and it brings her closer to the same goal that everybody wants. Nina Samuels trying to get into the head of Debbie Keitel. Debbie Keitel, a very mentally strong fighter, not somebody who typically falls for mind games. And Anita Vaughan knocking out Nina Samuels from behind. Debbie Keitel is in, and Debbie Keitel may have just done enough to put away Anita Vaughan, but Anita Vaughan rolls out of the ring. Now the question is, was that intentional? Can I praise the ring awareness and the fight IQ of Anita Vaughan, or was it just a case of Anita Vaughan going out there accidentally? But Nina Samuels gets the roll up, and I guess the shoulders anyway of Debbie Keitel to the canvas, but it wasn't enough to get the victory. Debbie Keitel back to her feet. Oh, Debbie Keitel, she has put so many away with this before. But in from behind is Anita Vaughan, and Anita Vaughan, and it looks like she has something in her hand. It's difficult to see from my vantage point, but she has the victory. That's what Anita Vaughan has. She has the win. And the crowd are about as ecstatic as you would expect. I've seen more ecstatic crowds at a funeral, but Anita Vaughan has got the win. And now we see Anita Vaughan squaring up to Katie Harvey. Anita Vaughan is obsessed with this singles match. Katie Harvey embarrassed her in that 6-person tag, and Katie has hopped into this ring and she's attending to Debbie Keitel. Of course, Debbie Keitel, somebody Katie Harvey, of course, cares about, somebody who's been around a while. Did you hear that from Katie Harvey? She said she will do something about it. Katie Harvey has said that she will do something about it. We hope Debbie Keitel's not seriously hurt. They looked lost, but they developed as a match went on. But what's happening behind Fabio?
The story of this match writes itself. It was always going to happen. Justin Daniels versus Fabio for the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship. Justin and I started out together. We debuted against each other at the real young age of 14 and 15. And from that match alone, we were labelled as the next rising stars in Irish wrestling. Since then, I think we've done pretty well for ourselves. Justin and I used to talk about this match happening when we were like 13 and 14, before we even debuted. We'd talk about one day we're going to main event a Fight Factory show for the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship. And that's why it's so weird seeing Justin so sour going into this match. Now, Justin's change in attitude outside of my title picture probably wouldn't faze me. People get to the top in their own different ways. I wasn't always an honest wrestler, I understand it. But it hurts just a little bit differently when one of your best mates will go and stab you in the back. Justin, I was on the brink of becoming Fight Factory Pro Wrestling's first ever double champion until you came out and took a steel chair to my back. Every single time that Justin Daniels and Fabio have faced off, Fabio has been the one lad that has had your number.
1, 2, and 3!
And I think what eats a hole inside of him, even that little bit more, is that I've gotten to the top of Fight Factory's mountain before he did, without any shortcuts. Now Justin, I don't think this is going to be an easy match. You are on an absolute tear at the minute and there's no denying that. But I know that October 22nd, the result is going to remain the same. That Fabio is going to be the one guy that has your number.
This is what it's all about. And this is a fight that I am excited for, but I'm also somewhat nervous for. This is the biggest fight of Justin Daniels' career. This is a fight for gold, for the ultimate prize, the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship. But this is so much more than that. This is history. This is Justin Daniels fighting against not just the champion, but the champion that he started his career with on Project Next Gen. This is the most focused I've ever seen Justin Daniels, but on the flip side, is also probably the most focused I've ever seen Fabio. You know, he comes in, he has this cool demeanor, a relaxed body language, to say the least, but you know, at the end of the day, this man has such a task ahead of him here tonight. You know, every time you defend that belt, and Fabio has defended that belt so many times up to this point, in many different countries against many different opponents. So I don't need to, you know, lecture anyone on this. You know, if you've watched Fight Factory before or other promotions, you know what Fabio is capable of. But Justin Daniels is a man on a mission, the Killmonger, and he's not just a man on a mission, he's a little bit unhinged, he's a little bit of a psychopath, he's a little bit of a, you know, he doesn't feel any empathy, and that's, an opponent that has no empathy is a very dangerous opponent. They will, you know, Justin Daniels, when these two started out, when these two made their debuts against each other at Project Next Gen, you know, they were effectively kids. Legally, they were kids. They were young teenagers who had just sort of arrived. I mean, there was, we didn't realize, we knew there was potential there. We didn't realize Fabio would have the technical ability and the speed and the combination of those two to go on and become the, you know, the champion of Fight Factory for as long as he has become. And Justin Daniels, on the flip side, we didn't know back then that he would go on to be this cold-blooded killer in the ring that could, you know, has the power, has the toughness to do away with anyone. And again, they're still young, but, you know, they're the real deal. And the history between these two is insane. Before they even debuted at Fight Factory, they spoke about this match. They spoke about facing against each other for, you know, for the title. But obviously the circumstances are very different, because Fabio has gone on and he's proven himself. He's become the champion. He's fought who he's needed to fight. Justin Daniels has never won the gold. We all know what he's capable of. We all know his ability. We all know his potential. But he has never won the gold to justify all of his claims and to solidify himself as the best. Not one of the best, but the best here in Fight Factory. But if he gets that win here tonight, then it's all said and done, really. I can't explain in words how much this means to Justin, but again, you can say the same about Fabio. This means everything. But one thing I find very interesting about this, after hearing from Fabio, especially going into this fight, I didn't hear anything from Justin. Justin's been focused right from the second this fight was announced. He showed up. He obviously gave Fabio a pile driver in the main event of our last show in the tag title match. But from that point onwards, Justin never said anything. We never saw him. He was laser focused. He was just focused on getting here and getting the victory that he needed. Fabio, on the other hand, had a lot to say. And Fabio spoke about, you know, how much it hurt him that somebody who he has so much history with is the one who's disrespecting him, is the one who's, you know, angry, who's you know, for Fabio, it's not the same as fighting, you know, a Jonathan Gresham or a Martin Steers or a Savior of Destiny, where, you know, it's just an opponent, it's just another lad. This is, you know, for Justin Daniels to be treating Fabio the way that he is treating him over the last while, it hurts Fabio. And that is not necessarily a benefit to Fabio. You hear all the time about, you know, emotional fighters and how it can motivate them to do great things. An emotional fighter is more often than not a sloppy fighter. It's a fighter that makes mistakes. And one thing I noticed between Fabio and Justin Daniels is that Justin Daniels is showing no emotion. I mean, for him, as much as this means to him, it is purely from a wrestling standpoint, a fighting standpoint. It is Fabio, but it could be wrestler A, wrestler B, wrestler C. Whereas with Fabio, it's a lot more personal. This is Justin Daniels and Fabio. And, you know, you can kind of see how that affects him mentally. And I thought that was going to be it. I thought we were going to get a very quick pinfall there. That would have been a crazy way for this main event to finish before it's even started. But that can happen. That can happen, you know. You look at Fabio, you look at Justin Daniels. In theory, I mean, Fabio especially is the sort of fighter that can really pull off those quick pinning attempts quite well. But, you know, it's going to take so much to put away Justin Daniels. It's going to take so much to put away Fabio. I really don't see this one ending quickly, if I'm being honest with you. But, you know, emotional aspect aside, you even look at the sporting aspect of it, and you look at, you know, you look at the clash of styles between these two, and that's another interesting aspect. Again, we saw the sort of bare bones remnants of this in their previous encounters, you know, on Next Gen and on previous shows. But now it's so fleshed out. Fabio has the speed, Fabio has the agility, Fabio has the technical ability, but Justin Daniels is a brawler. Justin Daniels has the power, Justin Daniels has the strength. More importantly, he has the killer instinct. He's cold-blooded. It's something that Fabio, it's a weird thing to say from a human standpoint, but Fabio's downfall is that, you know, he's a bit too emphatic compared to Justin Daniels. You know, he's one of these fighters that wants to win, but he doesn't necessarily want to injure his opponent. Justin Daniels not only doesn't care, but he's happy. He's happy to injure his opponent. We saw him annihilate Leighton Buzzard, not once but twice, and in that last fight especially, stomping on Leighton Buzzard while his head was underneath the apron, and then pile driving it into the canvas. I haven't heard from Leighton Buzzard since then. I doubt he's doing too well, but you know, Justin Daniels doesn't care. He's on his way, and that's all he cares about. But another aspect to take into account is that every time these two have fought up to this point, Fabio has won. Fabio has beaten him in every encounter that they have had in singles competition, and also in grapple games as well. He got the win there. Justin Daniels, of course, that was really something that set him off moving forward for the duration of this year. You know, he couldn't stand the fact that he wasn't able to win grapple games, and you see him putting the boost to Fabio. This is what I mean. You know, he's toying with Fabio. Now, he's going to need to be careful not to toy too much with Fabio. Fabio isn't really somebody who you can toy with, but it does solidify the point that Justin Daniels doesn't care. He will beat the shit out of anyone and everyone he comes across. He is not here to make friends. He is here to make victories. He's here to win championships. He's here to solidify himself and build his career. This is what Justin Daniels does. And you can love him or hate him as a person, but there's no denying that Justin Daniels, as a fighter, you know, there is no doubt in Justin Daniels. But Justin Daniels, you know, to have lost in every encounter thus far between these two, that was another thing that I was going to say. It's just mentally, you know, that has such a strong impact, because it begs the question, does Fabio have his number? Honestly, if these two were older, and if these two were at the end of their careers or near the end of their careers, I would say yes. But I think at this early stage, where you learn so much more from your losses than your victories, I don't know. I don't know if it's fair to say that Fabio has Justin Daniels' number. I think Justin Daniels is somebody who could realistically walk out of here as champion, and that is why this match has me so nervous, because I just know, like, this is history in the making, no matter what the outcome. And Justin Daniels from behind got airtime on that. And Justin Daniels going over the ropes, and it's an interesting one, because the fans hated Justin when he came out and they're giving him an awful reaction, but he does have his supporters here and they are vocal. Justin Daniels, again, he's one of those wrestlers. I said about JB, you know, people don't respect him and people hate him. Justin Daniels is somebody who people might hate, but people respect. People respect him. And Justin Daniels, on the outside. No way. If Justin Daniels hits a pile driver on Fabio on the outside, that is lights out for Fabio. We're done. And Foxy May Foxy may... Oh my god. He's picking up for what looks like a powerbomb instead, but Fabio punching the head of Justin Daniels. He's able to counter it. He gets back to his feet, and Justin Daniels ducks under at a kick to the midsection. But, you know, if... I say this with every Justin Daniels fight, you know what I mean? Foxy has a very, very tough and very scary job whenever Justin Daniels fights, because you're not just counting the pin, you're not just seeing who wins, you're not seeing who's following the rules. You're also using your own discretion to decide if a fighter has had enough and if you need to protect the fighter from themselves. Because Justin Daniels will put them through so much punishment that, you know, in a match like this, especially where there's gold on the line, and you know Fabio is not going to give up, Justin Daniels has no problem killing somebody for that belt. You know what I mean? It's Foxy has a very tough job, but again, I trust him to do what he needs to do. I'm going to have to stand up to see what's going on here. Both men are down. Justin is back in before we get to the count of 10, but Fabio... Oh, and Fabio's in 9.99999, and thank Christ for that, because you don't want to see this one end by count out. You know, count out victory is no good for anyone. Of course, the title cannot change hands by count out. I mean, I'm sure Justin Daniels would be happy to get the title under any means necessary, but at the same time, even I don't think even Justin Daniels would be happy with that. I think Justin Daniels wants to prove a point here. I think he wants to show everyone not just that he's the champion or that he has gold around his waist or around his shoulder. He wants to prove that he is better than Fabio. That's what this is to Justin Daniels. He wants to prove that he is better than Fabio. And you can see them now exchanging strikes. I don't think it is the wisest move to exchange strikes with Justin Daniels. And you see that elbow from Daniels just, you know, doing all the damage it needs to do. Justin Daniels with a forearm to Fabio, sending Fabio flying back, and Fabio, he slaps back. Slaps are effective, you know, but the one problem with slaps are that, you know, a lot of times it can just motivate your opponent, it can fire your opponent up, and that's the last thing you want with Justin Daniels. He's already dangerous enough as it is without, you know, you firing him up even further. Justin Daniels and blocks the initial attack from Fabio, but not able to block the second one. And Fabio taking the feet right out from underneath Justin Daniels and sweeping the leg. And oh, that is not a noise you ever want to hear coming out of any fighter's mouth. A squeal, dare I say, a squeal. And Fabio, oh, he's caught with a backstabber. And Fabio would have thought that was it. Fabio would have seen, you know, a wounded animal in Justin Daniels. But Justin Daniels, this is what I mean, he's so tough, he's so durable. You know, you can take the leg out from Justin Daniels and you will counter it into a backstabber just like that. Justin Daniels, you can see that leg's in trouble. That leg is in a lot of trouble. You know, when a wrestler loosens their boot like that, and yeah, that's not good. That's never a good sign. You can see Foxy taking a very close look at it. But Justin Daniels, he's never going to give up. I mean, one leg, no leg, he's going to do whatever he needs to do. That leg is in a lot of trouble. You know, when a wrestler loosens their boot like that, and yeah, that's not good. That's never a good sign. You can see Foxy taking a very close look at it. But Justin Daniels, he's never going to give up. I mean, one leg, no leg, he's going to do whatever he needs to do. But the problem with that is, well, he's relieving the pressure by sort of undoing his boot like that. You know, you're also showing, you know, almost kind of a target to your opponent. Like, look, this hurts. But Justin Daniels taking down the singlet, and Fabio counters it into a cutter, and that is possibly it. Possibly. Oh no, Justin Daniels sneaks out with two. And he's tapping, but Foxy's out! He taps! And Foxy is not there to see it! Fabio should have this won. Fabio should have retained his championship, but Foxy is not there. And from behind, Justin Daniels with a super kick. And Justin Daniels, I don't want to say it, but he could be going for the pile driver, and he gets it. Justin Daniels hits Fabio with the pile driver. Foxy's very slow getting in here, but this could be it. Oh, Fabio kicks out too. To have that injured, and we don't know what level the injury is, but it certainly doesn't look good. That is not gonna... It's not gonna leave him in a good position, a strong position, with Fabio still very much in this. But currently they are on the top turnbuckle. Fabio landing a lovely kick from the ring apron right up to the top turnbuckle. Justin Daniels is moving to the side of it. He's trying to sort of escape from Fabio, but Fabio off the top and a cutter off the top rope. And this has to be it. And it's not! And it's submission on that injured leg. Yeah, Justin Daniels will be in trouble, but of course he manages to get him off. Oh, and a headbutt. Justin Daniels does that so well, but Fabio counters the next move, and Fabio... No, he's got it. He's got that figure four by the looks of it. He has it. He has it, and Justin Daniels has to tap. He has to tap. I can't imagine him tapping, but he has to tap. Defiant middle finger from Justin Daniels. And he's screaming. Foxy's going to have to do something here. If Justin Daniels doesn't tap, his leg is gone. His leg is gone. And he's tapped. And he's tapped. Justin Daniels has submitted, and that is not something I thought I would say when I showed up at the Fight Factory tonight. But Justin Daniels has submitted, and Fabio has retained. Fabio is still, after years now, not months, years, Fabio is still the Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion.